All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Wednesday, September. Hello. Today is Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. This is episode 832 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. I am your host, Dr. Gerald Auger. And over the next hour, me, you, Justin Gold, Rhonda Rummerfield in the Low Country, my man Toasty Pops in the Kansas City contingent, Augusta Delgado running the Team Solo Operator Network, Alana Boyajian in the GRC Mafia. Guys, we're all going to be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day, and I'll be giving my expert opinion and analysis on each of those stories on what it means to you as a practitioner. So how can you use this information to drive cyber risk reduction for your business stakeholders, as well as if you are a solo operator, understanding that, you know, you can basically bounce ideas off other people, get this intel, get this insight, and get additional thoughts and opinions, and most importantly, perspectives. Because I know all the solo operators are amazing at their job, but sometimes looking at it through a different lens definitely is valuable. Hey, AA Witherspoon, good to see you as always. And if you're looking to break into the industry, my friend, don't think the show's not for you, because it absolutely is. You're going to be asked in any job interview, how do you stay current on the industry? I got to tell you, it's a cheat code. Daily Cyber Threat Brief, up, down, left, right, A, B, select, start is basically a dynamite answer. And if you pay attention and engage, good morning, Casually Joseph, you will get value from it. I'm telling you, I just had someone reach out to me this morning on DMs and tell me they've been watching the show since summer 2023, and it has enabled them to translate what they're learning in the book into real life practice. So that's the value proposition that we're doing here. It's all about good times every single weekday morning. Now, I do want to tell you, I got the GRC Mafia mug cracking today, so it looks like it's going to be one of those days. Represent GRC Mafia. Guys, I am got to tell you, we got about 8 stories coming down the pike. You know how many I researched or prepped for? 0. Do you know why?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Good morning, Josh Mason. Good morning, Kimberly Can Fix It. I know we got Chris Whitlock and the pre-show Jawjacking crew in the mix. Good to see everybody this morning. Now, before we get into it, what I would love for you to do is get your coffee, get your tea. If you're in Australia, thanks for being here. It is Worldwide Wednesday, so we are going to be going around the horn in just a few minutes here to see if we have international representation today and let everybody represent their hometown, their space where they're at. We got Tom Bishop on the boot, Toasty Pops in Kansas City. We're going to go around the horn here in just a few minutes. But before we do that, allow me the opportunity to share with you the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring this show to you in all of its glory, right? This newer pink light back here, paid for by the sponsors. The shirt sponsors. Thank you very much, sponsors. Let's hear from them really quickly. Not only do they sponsor the show, but I do use their products and do like the people that work there. So it's a win-win-win all around. We'll do this, and when I come back, I'm going to tell you how this show, the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, solves all your CPE problems. All that and more right after the break. What's up, Simply Cyber? You know what keeps CISOs up at night? The unknown. Those exposed assets and leaked creds floating around the dark web that you don't even know about? Well, that's where Flare steps in. Think of Flare as your organization's amazing threat hunting capability, continuously scanning both clear and dark web for exposed enterprise assets, leaked secrets, and even compromised credentials being sold in private channels. Their cutting-edge platform, powered by transparent, generative AI, prioritizes real threats so your team can take immediate action. Stop playing catch-up with threat actors. Get ahead with Flare's threat exposure management capability. Don't take my word for it. Visit try.flare.io/simplycyber and try it for yourself. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit ThreatLocker. Do you want cutting-edge, high-quality cybersecurity education, regardless of financial position? Check this out. I want to give some love and some praise to Antisyphon Training, powered by Black Hills Information Security. Antisyphon Training is absolutely disrupting the traditional cybersecurity training industry by providing high-quality, cutting-edge education to everyone, regardless of financial position. They bring industry professionals with years and years of experience into the classroom to teach you and anyone else who's interested practical skills that are in demand in the market today. And on top of that, the student experience is amazing, as you and hundreds or thousands in some instances of other students are actively engaging, networking, sharing tips, tricks, and experiences with each other, all live in the classroom. Go to antisyphontraining.com, check out their course calendar to see what courses they have coming up next. You won't regret it. All right. Thank you again, stream sponsors. Totally appreciate that. Also got Barricade Cyber. Don't sleep on them. You guys know them, Barricade Cyber Solutions. Eric Taylor and the crew dedicated to helping businesses from cyber attacks and recover from the damage done. Cyber attacks can cause massive issues for businesses and send dedicated, hardworking business owners into turmoil. But Barricade Cyber Solutions, using their recovery process, know how to mitigate the damage done by cyber incidents. And most importantly, the impact is that they get you back up and running to a known good state, making that sweet, sweet cheddar. Great cash, homie. Check them out at barricadecyber.com. Links in the description below to all the stream sponsors, Flare, Antisyphon, ThreatLocker, and Barricade Cyber. All right, guys, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, including this one, Gustavo, including this one, TJ live in chat, is worth half a CPE. So James McQuiggan, say what's up. Okundu Nelson over on LinkedIn says, good morning, Team SC. That's what I'm saying. Just grab a screenshot of you saying what's up. John Steele, screenshot. Nerdpocalypse, screenshot. File it away. Once a year, count the screenshots, and then divide by 2 or multiply by 0.5. You can choose your math adventure. And then basically that's the number of CPEs you get. This is an instructor-led webinar. It just doesn't look like one because it doesn't suck. Hold on one second. I got to turn this off. We have the National Kidney Foundation coming today to grab up Callan's bed. We got Callan with a race car bed getting upgraded to a loft bed, and we don't want to throw the bed away. It's an awesome bed. We're hoping some lucky kid somewhere scoops up a race car bed. Oh, yeah. All right, guys. We got that. Hey, finally, if it's your first time in chat, if today is your first time in chat, hashtag first timer. We got a special sound effect. Welcome to the party, pal. We got a special emo. John McLean's in the house, wants to welcome you to the party. All right, guys. Nathan McKnight's in the hizzy. What's up, dude? People just getting interviews all over the place. Poner Joe, Nathan McKnight, just to name a few recents. Twice nightly with the screenshot. All right, guys, check it out. I got great news for you. Every single day of the week, we have a special segment, and Wednesdays goes a little long because we do something kind of cool. When you hear the Daft Punk, you know what's cracking. Listen, here is the deal. This community, we have the Discord server, hashtag or exclamation Discord in chat if you want. MSU Mike's back. Welcome back. Listen, we got the Discord server. You should be over there engaging, tons and tons of engagement and fun activities in the Discord server. Including, we're doing the giveaway for the Rekka Comics this Friday. If you haven't entered for the Rekka Comics yet, I strongly encourage you register because that raffle's happening Friday. But our community is massive and it's very cool, very inclusive. So once a week, we actually ask people to tell us where they are, and we light up this map right here. 2 minutes, 22 seconds, and we're going to see if we can go around the world. Let's throw the planet up there. 2 minutes, 22 seconds. Let me know where you at. Hey, Niket Vanya, welcome to the party, pal. First timer, everybody. Niket Vanya, welcome. Squad members, if you can welcome Niket Vanya. Here we go. 2 minutes, 22 seconds, and we are going around the world. Go. Now I know Senfilis is in Poland. We saw Gustavo in Brazil. Toasty Pops in the United States, Kansas City. Tom Bishop's always repping the boot. We got DC in the house. Mara Levy's in Philly. Dirty Jersey, Emilio Garcia. Vermont, you got the Green Mountain State. Let's go, Augusta Delgado. Augusta, Georgia's in the house. Hunter Clark's in Utah. I know Danny's in Utah. The Sunshine State. Newark. Watch out for Redman. Dirty Jers. Chi-Town. The UK's in the house. Thank you. United Kingdom, Oya Demola is in Chi-Town. We got Marlon Johnson in Palm Beach, Mississippi. Niagara Falls bringing Canada online. Holla, holla, holla. Let's go. We got Warren, Michigan. Come on, where's our Africa contingent at? Where's our Asia people at? Triple D. Well, Team Sippy Cup, Richard Duff bringing Australia on. Yes, sir. Australia showed up. Let's go. Come on, guys. We got the big speed bump completed. Let's finish strong. First timer in Chicago. Welcome to the party, Endorphin Monkey. Yes, sir. We got Barbados, San Diego, getting up early left coast, wading through logs, doing his thrunchinaring or whatever it is. Chi-Town, Letitia Clinton's in Maryland, or she's a doctor. Philly, what up? Dallas, Texas, come on now. Guys, nothing in Africa, nothing in Asia. What are we doing here? This is crazy. Central PA. We got the Triangle, the RDU. Cary, Triangle, Raleigh. All right. Come on now. Austin, Texas in the hizzy. Where's our Ghana, our Ethiopia? South Africa, SSD. Come on now. Where's Africa? That's right. Good morning from Little Talk. Maybe Little Rock. Christina Paulika, a.k.a. the Librarian. What's up? Jamaica, Kingston, King Trenchtown Rock in the house. Daylight savings time is totally screwing us over. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Siam Tanda Tubella says in South Africa. We'll take it. All right. Time's up. This is a new one. Oh, Ko-Fi squeaking in with Ghana. All right. This is a first time for us, y'all. Asia did not show up. Triple D, the Philippines. Sometimes we have like India, Bangladesh, Pakistan. Hold on. Good morning in Cebu, Philippines. You know what? We'll allow it. Thank you. Tel Aviv, Jake bringing the Middle East online. Doink. And we officially have it, everybody. Woo! All right. Hey, so congratulations. North America, Central. We're going to call Jamaica Central. South America, Africa, Europe. We're going to take the Philippines for Asia and Australia. Thank you, Richard Duff. Guys, we did it. I was going to say there for a second, Asia.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Good grief. All right. Hey, for the first timers who came here, squad members, please drop a John McClane for Endorphin Monkey and Niket Vanya. All right, guys, we got work to do, so do me a favor. Sit back, relax, and let's let the cool sounds of the hot news wash over all of us in an awesome wave. I'll see you guys at the mid-roll. Wait, hold on. Misfire.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
We are global. That's my favorite part, Oyen Demola. Guys, when we go worldwide, it's awesome. It's just such a testament to this community.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Wednesday, March 12th, 2025. I'm Rich Straffolino.
All right, let's go.
Sean Plankey nominated to head CISA. According to a list of nominations sent to Congress, President Trump tapped Sean Plankey to lead the U.S. Cyber Agency. Plankey previously served as the CIO of the U.S. Navy, as the White House's Director of Cyber Policy during the first Trump administration, and as the Principal Deputy Assistant Secretary for the Energy Department's Office of Cybersecurity, Energy Security, and Emergency Response in 2019 and 2020. The nomination now goes before the Senate Homeland Security Committee and is not expected to face significant pushback.
All right. Hey, I'll take it all day. So Sean Plankey, I haven't heard this guy's name before, but lot running. He was CIO of the Navy, like that's not nothing. There's a lot of technology. There's a lot of, big challenges. Like basically, yeah, the Navy is, a branch of the military in the United States, but you got to think of it this way. The Navy is a massive, large business. It's an enterprise. It's got hundreds of thousands of users. There's contractors, there's tech refresh, there's multi-million dollar contracts. This is not, you don't become CIO of the Navy as your first CIO gig. So I like it. Second of all, he has worked in the cyberspace. I know there was some pushback with Sean King Crosby and the National Cyber Director having never worked in cyber before. So this guy, he's one of us, I guess, to put it like that. I guess, is that opposite Kendrick Lamar? Because he is one of us. Isn't Kendrick say like not like us or something like that? I just stepped into like Gen Z and I shouldn't have. Let me wipe my foot here and back up. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know. My understanding, this would be basically the new Jen Easterly, right? So my one thing is Karen Evans is leading the cyber mission at CISA. So it's just, I don't understand what's the difference between. So she's executive assistant director, and I guess Sean Plankey would be director. When you get at this level and people have all these different names, titles, honestly, I could tell you, we get questions all the time, like, what's the difference between an analyst and engineer? Or like, is there a difference between compliance analyst and risk analyst? Like, I can break that down. But when you get to executive assistant director and then executive director and then assistant director, like, I don't know how they're parsing these things out. Long story short, this seems like a good win, especially because the guy Plankey was in Trump's administration the first go around. So he knows how that administration operates. So let's go.
Ballista botnet hits TP-Link devices. A new report from the Cato control team.
So Phil Stafford says, so why was every single mention Jen Easterly not political? Do we not talk about CISA at all anymore? I talk about CISA. I'm talking about CISA right now. It's just, there's nothing here. Sean Plankey's going to run it. That's the story, Phil. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, when he starts making decisions that impact us, or policy, or offering services or something, we'll cover that too. Yeah, when I say we don't talk politics on the show, just to qualify, when it's like, I don't know, like things like, whatever. I don't know.
Details how threat actors are exploiting a high-severity command injection vulnerability to execute code on TP-Link Archer AX21 routers to ultimately deploy the botnet. The flaw isn't new. The first evidence of exploitation dates back to April 2023. The researchers saw the campaign using the flaw in January 2025. The attackers used a shell script to execute a malware binary across various system architectures, which opens the door to remote code execution or denial of service. The researchers noted the malware can erase itself once execution begins to cover its tracks, while also spreading to other routers. Newer Ballista variants use Tor network domains rather than hard-coded IP addresses, indicating it's under active development. Researchers by Census found that Ballista infected over 6,000 devices across Brazil, Poland, the UK, Bulgaria, and Turkey.
Okay. All right. So this is compromising TP-Link network devices. So specifically the Archer series of TP-Link network devices. This is a prosumer model, right? You could see, like, it's these ones. And I don't even know if that's proper English, these ones, but it's the one that has like 9 antennas coming off of it. It looks like it's coming from like the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one where the bad guy was like the leather wearing purple sledgehammer carrying dude. This looks like it would be like on his ship. Like this is the router he chooses to use. Kind of got that like Oh my God. You know the alien Prometheus? Like that style, kind of like dystopian alien type stuff. You're not going to see this in a server rack at a data center. Okay. Like you find this in a mop bucket closet at a small, like at a dermatology business or something like that. So for you personally, if you're defending a business or securing a business, you're probably okay. If you're an MSP for small businesses, you may want to investigate this one as possible, right? Again, this isn't like shut everything down. Now, they are doing a, let's see how it initially gets infected here. So threat actors use it to drop Mirai botnet malware. Okay, so it's already compromised at that point when you're dropping Mirai. Let's see. It uses a malware dropper, a shell script called drop bpb.sh, which is a shell script extension that basically pulls down second stage payload for various system architectures. So basically, this shell script runs in kind of a lightweight Linux environment. It does a quick architecture, like uname-a kind of thing. And then it pulls down the correct payload for whatever the chip architecture is underneath it. Then it starts doing malicious C2. You're already compromised at this point. So yeah, encrypted C2 on port 82 takes control of the device. I don't understand how the initial infection actually happens. Is it a 0-day exploit? Hold on 1 second. Okay, so yeah, so it's a remote code execution of this 2023 vulnerability. All right, so a couple things here. Number one, I'm going to go to DJBSec's GitHub. I'm going to go to the EPSS score. I'm going to drop that CVE in here and get results. So while that's queuing up, by the way, I'll just drop this link to DJBSec's awesome tool. I use this tool all the time, by the way, free. If you're running this TP-Link router and it's internet facing, okay, or it's open to the internet, so internet facing, it can be remotely compromised. Sublime Ghost, yeah. All right. All right. And once it gets remotely exploited, then your they basically drop a shell on it, which pulls down a second stage payload, and you're compromised. It then runs Mirai botnet. Here's what I would do. Two things. Number one, verify whether or not you're running this device in your environments that you're responsible for. Number two, if you are, see if it's internet facing. See if you can hit it from the internet. Number three, go threat hunting. If you've set up Graylog in your environment or you have some type of SIM or whatever, go look for port 82. That's what it's using. Now, you can change, like the file name is dropbpb.sh. Threat actor can change the file name easily. I mean, you should still look for it, but port 82, they can change the port, but now you're getting a little bit higher up into the pyramid of pain as to how their infrastructure is built out, right? If they change that port, they kind of have to change it everywhere. Then they have to continue to support multiple ports. Ronan the Accuser, thank you very much. All right. And then ultimately they're doing denial of service attacks, like a bunch of, like that attack that hit Twitter 2 days ago. Okay. This this mind map is like kind of cray-cray, honestly. Not the cleanest looking graphic, not saxophone worthy, but yeah. Let's see here, the results. Ooh, not good. So this is actually quite bad. 10% chance of getting compromised in the next 30 days. So if you're running this device, you've got a 10% chance. 1 in 10. There's 387 people in chat right now. So 38 of you compromised. And this actually, the percentage of how bad it is, 95th percentile. That means out of the hundreds of thousands of vulnerabilities in the EPSS database, this one ranks in the top 5% of bad. Okay. So, I would do what I asked you to do. Make sure that if you're running this thing, that it is not internet facing, and if it has to be, you gotta patch it.
PowerSchool publishes breach report. The education software giant released CrowdStrike's investigation into its December 2024 breach. This showed signs that the company was initially breached in August 2024 and then again in September prior to the December breach, and it's not clear if the same threat actor was responsible for either of the two prior breaches. The December attack exfiltrated teachers' and students' data using compromised credentials, but researchers did not see evidence that the attackers accessed other company databases. There was also no evidence the attackers moved laterally in their network or downstream to any school systems directly. As of January 2025, CrowdStrike found no evidence that threat actors published any data from the breach after being paid a ransom. PowerSchool has not confirmed how many students were impacted by the attacks.
All right. Hey, so PowerSchool, this company literally is in 85% of United States K through 12 schools. So they have a massive footprint. Like my kids, like it's so weird because like back in the day, really quickly when I was young, when I was a kid, if you have gray in your hair, you'll recognize. You would get your grades like once a quarter, right? You wouldn't know how you were doing. My kids nowadays with PowerSchool, my kid can log in.
Best friends. Yep.
What do we get? Coffee, man. Super chat, $2, man. Just got a Simply Cyber tea today. Holla! Thanks to the super chat, Coffee Man. Coffee cup cheers to you too, sir. Hope you enjoy that. A couple of people who have been getting Simply Cyber merch actually have been commenting on the quality. I'm a big fan of like the quality of the shirts that we get. Anyways, my kids can get up to my kids can see whether or not the teachers graded the homework that they submitted today. Like it's insane how up to date you get with your grades. So here's the deal. Large company got hacked months before the data breach. This shouldn't be as a surprise. Looks like they got compromised. And then, they did the threat actors did a little bit of recon, figured out they got a big fat whale, and then executed ransomware. And then they got paid.
Straight cash, homie.
And for the benefit of all of us, they did not release the data. Now, I will say this. If I was a threat actor, I know not all threat actors are the same. I know some threat actors just say F it and they release the data anyways. For this particular one, I got to tell you, if I was a threat actor and I got all this data and I got paid, I would make it make it an entire experience, burning all of that data down and deleting all of it, because this is talking about 85% of United States children, right? There's certain things you don't F with, and children are one of them. And I'm just telling you, you would have brought down a lot of hurt if you had exposed 85% K through 12 in the United States kids' personal information. That is definitely like a tornado of fire that you would not want to rain down on you. So I'm not surprised. Shout out to PowerSchool for paying the ransom. Again, I don't know. I still don't really know how I feel about ransom payments. It's kind of like situationally dependent, but this just goes to show you big brand, huge footprint, easy, big target. All right. Bruise and Axe says Finn's requesting the spicy sounder. No problem. Hey, Finn.
Spicy!
Allstate sued for back-to-back breaches. The New York State Attorney General's office filed a lawsuit against the insurance company and several of its subsidiaries, accusing them of poor cybersecurity practices that led to data breaches in 2020 and 2021. Both attacks exploited an auto insurance quoting tool from the company National General, which Allstate acquired in 2021, exposing almost 200,000 driver's license numbers. The lawsuit said the tool populated driver's license numbers in plain text, something not fixed after the first breach. Allstate says it notified regulators and fixed the issue promptly, offering credit monitoring services to those impacted.
Dude, this is some hot trash. Hold on 1 second. This sucks, dude. Okay. So this is like so I've dealt with mergers and acquisitions. Like I've been the lead architect from the cyber perspective on mergers, and this is like a nightmare scenario. Okay, so check it out. Allstate. We all know Allstate, right? Hold on, I'm cold. We all know Allstate, right? They acquired a company called National General in 2021. What they didn't realize is that National General was already compromised and threat actors already had their data. So they basically acquired a nightmare and all these driver license number, 200,000 people, data exposed, and Allstate is left wearing it. It's like basically like National General like threw a bunch of like I don't know, like if you've ever worked in a restaurant, like like the slop bucket, like the bus bucket, slop bucket, like someone took one of those and like threw it on all the clothes in the master closet, and then like someone bought the house and they like didn't go check all the closets, and then when you get the house, you like take a tour after you bought it, and you're like, oh my god, what's that smell? Like that's what happened here. Here's the TLDR for people who are in industry. Listen really quickly. I always try to distill some value from these stories. Something like Sean Plankey tapped to run CISA. There's not a lot I can mine for you as a practitioner. This one, allow me a moment, please. So yes, it's a data breach. Yes, same thing as always with like ransomware and stuff. You got to do your tabletops, all that stuff. Let me give you some value on this one. If you are at a company that is working through mergers or acquisitions, now, if you're being acquired, I want to point out you should probably get your resume ready and cleaned up. But if you are the one doing the mergers,
we just become best friends. Yep.
James McQuiggan at 35,000 feet with a super chat. I have more Simply Cyber clothing than any other conference or company, and it continues to grow. Simply Cyber, Simply CyberCon, and 3 with my name at 35,000 feet on it. Customize your shirt and own it. My man, James McQuiggan. Yeah, that's another thing you may not know. At the Simply Cyber store, you can like literally put anything you want on. I know DJ Bisek has his DJ logo on the back of his shirt. Okay, so if you're acquiring a company, here are the things that you should think of. I should probably make a video for this. Okay, number one, like what data, like what kind of systems are they using that you're not going to be using? Because there's all sorts of data in those systems. There's all sorts of contracts with that vendor, with those vendors and that business you're acquiring. All of that, okay? Second of all, if they are actively compromised, like what kind of assurances do you have that you're not dealing with an active compromised incident? Number 3, like, do you own the liability if the day you sign paperwork? And by the way, when mergers happen, they take a while, like, to close the deal. They're not instantaneous. This isn't like you're buying someone's car off their front lawn, like on, Route 44, and you're like, hey, what's up? So you got to be mindful of that. All right. And then finally, as far as like user access goes, you absolutely need to like shut it down, lock it down, and then like reissue access if you can to all the workforce that's coming over with the merger, right? You don't want to just be like, oh, like right click, permission everyone. If you work at the company we're acquiring, you'll just have access to things like it's a massive lift, all that credentialing, all that initial access, because basically it's like you're not hiring all these new people. Obviously, they're being acquired, but like it's kind of like you have a massive new hire pool of people, and you just have to be vigilant with that access. Okay, so that's what's up. Be Clear says, gotta head out. My daughter's sick. Team replay for today. Be Clear. Hopefully the daughter feels better. All right, let's keep going.
And now, thanks to today's episode sponsor, Vanta. Do you know the status of your compliance controls right now? Like right now? We know that real-time visibility is critical for security. But when it comes to our GRC programs, we rely on point-in-time checks. but more than 9,000 companies have continuous visibility into their controls with Vanta. Vanta brings automation to evidence collection across 35 frameworks like SOC 2 and ISO 27001. They also centralize key workflows like policies, access reviews, and reporting, and helps you get security questionnaires done 5 times faster with AI. Now that's a new way to GRC. Get started at vanta.com/headlines. That's VANTA.com/headlines.
All right, really quick, Glum Hippo with the 401 interrupt broadcast on behalf of Coffee. Thank you very much. Really quickly, I do want to address a question that was in chat. Shakira Williams said, should they complete an assessment before merging the systems, or should they be done while vetting the company? Shakira, here's the reality. You're not going to be involved, like, and this isn't a dig at Shakira. This is just a reality. The CISO, the Information Security Office, 99 out of 100 times, they're not going to be involved in the decision whether or not you're acquiring this company. You basically get handed a fully baked cake, and you're told, we're going to eat this cake, right? Like, you don't get to shop for the ingredients. You don't get to mix the batter. You get handed a cake, and they say, we're going to eat this cake. You've got 6 months. So, you know what I mean? I know it's a silly metaphor, but basically, all you can do is kind of ride the lightning, Shakira. Like, you basically want to get in there, talk to the people. Hopefully they're receptive. Sometimes when you're acquiring a company, they're not wicked happy about it because they know you're shutting their office down in like 6 months, and they're going to be a pain in the A. So there's a lot of dynamics to it. Like I said, I could do a whole video on it. I might even do that or do an AMA or something like that. Hey, guys, I want to say shout out and thank you to all of you who are in the chat right now. Sorry, MSU Mike, making them hungry. Ooh, so Jake says in Israel you do it before the merger, but that's the law. That's right. Guys, thank you. Antisyphon, Threat Locker, Barricade, Flare. We already did Worldwide Wednesday and went right around the world, so no big deal. Real Bilbo, sorry he's late. Halfway through the week, folks. Let's go. All right. Let me take one sip of my coffee. You see how this is how like extra I am. I'm using a sweatshirt just to keep my arms warm. Don't judge me. My torso's not cold. My arms are. All right, hey, let's get our la's on, simply because we've already done Worldwide Wednesday. Alpha Sierra is going to lead us off, but you know the words. Here we go. One more time for Finn.
Percy!
Let's go. Hey, if it's your first timer, we do this every single day. Get ready, say la, and then I'll dance a little bit too. So good. Cam Godot saying that my sweater arm game is so hot right now.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Oh, that's great. Let's finish strong, y'all.
Blind Eagle flies high with .url files. Checkpoint Research released an advisory about a new campaign targeting government institutions and organizations in Colombia since November 2024. These attacks are attributed to the group Blind Eagle, also known as APT-C36 for those that don't like cool names. This campaign distributes malicious .url files, which trigger a web DAV request when interacting with it in a specific way that could start a second stage payload download or execute other malicious actions. The group largely distributes malware through consumer services like Google Drive or Dropbox, but the researchers found them expanding to using Bitbucket and GitHub for payload hosting.
All right. Here we go. Like, number one, like, why? wading through logs. I know you're in chat right now. Wade. Any good use for a .url file? All right, here's my thing. Like, they're using file sharing services like Dropbox, Google Drive in order to bypass email security gateway analysis of attachments. All right. So that's why it is. Like, so I send Mando Avila an email with a malware payload attached to the email. Email security gateway is going to strip that. No big deal. So now what I do is I send Mando Avila an email with a link to a Google Drive. Now, of course, Google Drive is not going to be blocked because many businesses use Google and Google Drive and OneDrive and Dropbox and all that. So, like, that's going to get through it. But then you still have to, like, download it, and you're downloading a .url. Like, wading through logs says he wrote something a while back, but don't remember. Here's my thing. Like, I can't think of any time a .url file is, like, what you're looking for or what you're going for. You know, you should be able to, EDR solutions can see a URL file coming in. You know, the thing is, like, when you click on a Google Drive through an email and it accesses it, it's possible that it's standing up an encrypted connection, like, you know, TLS and encrypted connection. So a firewall may not see the actual data being sent over. It just sees the connection to Google Drive. So a firewall isn't the end-all be-all solution here. But so, I mean, yeah, okay. So wading through logs says Google Drive can be blocked, and it is at his organization. Sure, you can block it, but for the most part, guys, these large enterprise-grade commercial file sharing systems like Google Drive, Dropbox, DocuSign, OneDrive, like, you know, they're not SharePoint. They're not going to be blocked. Like, you can't, like, a threat actor is going to figure out what is allowed in your environment. So obviously this particular one, threat actors are trying to send you the .url file, which is their initial attack, right? Initial infection. And then once they get that infected, they're going to install, you could see here, attack chain, right? And then it runs the final stage payload, which is the Remco remote access Trojan. So it's like anything else. Like, here's the thing. If you're new to cybersecurity and you think that when a threat actor compromises your system, it's like a single piece of malware, then you're like living in the 90s. Okay. In modern 2025, it's much more stages, right? So plus this modular approach makes it easy for threat actors to maintain and update, you know, individual modules and stuff like that. But my point is, you typically get a dropper, right? An initial payload, which kind of like pops a hole in the side of your boat. And then second stage payload reaches out to some C2 server or whatever, and then pulls down real malware, which starts detonating. And then, you know, usually a persistence mechanism gets stood up in the remote access. And then basically a threat actor is wearing your pants, and nobody wants somebody else wearing their pants. You know what I mean? If you are, I think this is targeting Colombia. Yeah. So if you work in the government or in Colombia, I know Gustavo was in Brazil. You may want to be on the lookout for this one. They talk about making a WebDAV request. So this right here, this WebDAV request, again, I turn to Wade Wells for this one, but a WebDAV request you would see in the logs. And that's a much more of a unusual thing, right? Like, not that WebDAV is impossible, but like if you're seeing a machine doing WebDAV requests, it could be interesting from a threat hunting perspective, right? Obviously, if it's running a remote access Trojan, that's also interesting. Yeah, see, key factor is its success to exploit legitimate file sharing like Google Drive, Dropbox, Bitbucket, GitHub, etc. All right. And yeah, see, even so, I don't research these stories, so I don't want you to think that I'm like making stuff up here, but I've been informed. It says to counter this particular threat, Strict security policy, sure. Disable NTLM authentication. I didn't know that was part of this attack vector. This is actually kind of a surprising recommendation, right? I mean, it's not a bad idea, but like I don't see how it has anything to do with this attack vector. And then monitor network activity for unusual web dev requests. That's what I just said. Look in your SIM. Go threat hunting. Let's go.
UK calls for improvements to open source supply chain security. A new report from the UK's Department for Science, Innovation and Technology, or DCIT, outlined weaknesses in the open source supply chain, citing a lack of industry-specific practices, a lack of formal process for judging component trustworthiness, and dominant influence of large tech companies as points of concern. As best practice recommendations, organizations should create internal OSS policy that details the criteria for evaluating the trustworthiness and maturity of OSS components, develop software bill of materials or SBOMs for their products, and actively engage and contribute to the open source community.
Okay, so JT Webb is saying you can use WebDAV to relay NTLM. Thank you. And agree, CyberCycle says disabling NTLM is a way old baseline standard. Yeah, exactly. Like that's why, to me, it was kind of confusing that it's recommended because like this is like, not new. Okay, and thanks, Simply Cyber community members for weighing in on this and sharing your thoughts. Like that's what I'm saying. Like super value to everybody, including me. Okay, so the UK government report calls. All right, so some bureaucrat is like posturing for stronger open source supply chain security practices. Welcome. I mean, like literally.
Welcome to the party, pal.
The United States has been driving this train for like 2-3 years. We have massive private sector buy-in. The FANG companies, Amazon, Google, etc., have been investing heavily into open source security. So, like, yeah, get on the train. Here's what I want to tell you. This isn't going to change. This isn't going to change anything for you today. But what you should know is they talked about SBOM, software bill of materials. This is like the, Moby Dick's, white whale or whatever. When you have a piece of software in your environment, okay, and there is a vulnerability that is like baked in deep because of a library that is been used, you may not know it. And that's kind of like what the software bill of materials is supposed to be. It's supposed to say, you're running Apache 1.7 and you're running, struts version 13.2 or whatever. Like the idea is that when a vulnerability comes out, you can review your entire enterprise's software bill of materials, GRC Mafia, to know where exactly you need to go look to see if there's a problem. And this was most felt as an example when Log4j came down. Now, Log4j, if you don't know, was an Apache log function. It was maintained by like 3 developers, open source, and it was incredibly easy to exploit. And I think this was like the December of 2021. You'll have to fact check me on this one. I think it was December of 21. But the idea was that nobody knew where the hell it was. Most people were actually just doing like the DNS attack because all you had to do was I can't remember exactly how to do it, but like you basically just had to like make not a DNS query, but like you just had to query it somehow and you could get it to do what you wanted. And they were finding it all over the place. That like there's a helicopter on Mars that had it. That it was just nuts. But people were like, "Oh, I don't know if I have it." And what ended up happening is, like, let's say you have an enterprise grade application like Microsoft Word. Okay, well, Microsoft Word. Again, this is just a make believe example to make the point. You say, "Oh, I have Microsoft Word in my environment," right? I don't have Log4j. I only have Microsoft Word. Well, then, if you unpack Microsoft Word, you'd see that it's made up of a bunch of code. Some of that code is libraries that are brought in. Okay, well, what are those libraries? Well, none of them are Log4j. Okay, no problem. Well, then you go one level deeper and you're like, some of these libraries are made up of other libraries, and then you follow it, and then it gets dimmer and darker and more shady or shadowed as you get further from the main application. And then maybe 5 stages down, you find log4j. Okay, so that's the challenge, and that's why it's not easy to do a software bill of materials and why it's the white whale. And the idea is that that's what people want. I also want to mention an SBOM, even if you could get all the way down the rabbit hole and find all of the original code and libraries and whatever that are in a piece of software. Software's dynamic, right? If a new updated patch is pushed and it involves a major version update and it changes a whole bunch of stuff, your SBOM is going to be out of date too, right? So now you're going to have this maintenance issue with SBOMs. So exactly, Nick Barker, PyPy, NPM, GitHub, like all these things, right? It's crazy. So we got comments in here. Danny, CZM Skater says, in manufacturing, a bill of materials is a recipe for finished goods. It's ultimately a checklist for a SBOM. Yeah, see, the problem is in manufacturing a bill of materials, or on the side of food where you have like the nutrition facts and like what the ingredients are, you're not like, no one is going to take like a bowl of Cheerios, pour milk in it, and then bundle it up and call it a new thing and have to update the nutrition facts on the side. All right, Josh Mason's claiming there are ways to manage SBOMs more easily nowadays. So it looks like they're trying to solve that problem. Phil Stafford needs a nap now that he's at his desk. I'm with you, man.
Suspected Garantex founder arrested. The crypto exchange Garantex was sanctioned by the U.S. government in 2022 for facilitating money laundering by criminal organizations. On March 7th, the U.S. Department of Justice unsealed an indictment against its alleged founders, Alexander Miraserda and Alexei Beskyokov. At the same time, German and Finnish law enforcement seized servers used by the service. Sources speaking to Krebs on Security say that Indian officials apprehended Beskyokov over the weekend. The DOJ charges Beskyokov as the technical administrator maintaining the exchange's critical infrastructure.
Wow. Okay.
Regulators, mount up.
First of all, a couple things. One, this guy right here, arrested. Okay. Number two, this guy was facilitating tens of billions of dollars in money laundering. Tens of billions of dollars. So I don't know what his cut was, what his percentage was, but like, you know, I don't know. If I were to see this guy on the street, I wouldn't think multimillionaire criminal kingpin. So that's like another thing. Like there isn't a look, right? Hollywood tries to have this kind of like look. So here's the thing, guys. Like, again, this isn't going to change the way you do work today, tomorrow, whatever. But this is this is a knocking a brick out of the wall that is cyber criminal activity. You do ransomware attacks, you do whatever, and you get paid in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. You still need to wash that money. You can't go, cryptocurrency isn't a duffel bag full of unmarked bills. It's cryptocurrency that has a long ledger associated with it that you need to get away from. And these crypto exchanges like Garantex basically is set up as a money laundering business. Now, this guy's arrested, so it offers fewer options for threat actors to do. I will tell you a couple things. One, I would assume that another threat actor is going to step up and fill the void that this one is producing. Number two, I find this interesting, okay? And little tinfoil hat, okay? And for those who are newcomers here, the tinfoil hat is basically where I just kind of go off the reservation a little bit. This guy is a Russian national, and there was a lot of Russian criminal threat actors that were using his exchange to launder money, and he got arrested in India. India is like allied with Russia if you follow what BRICS is. So I find it interesting. Russia typically doesn't extradite their own citizens. There's a lot of evidence to support that they do bulletproof hosting for their Russian citizens that happen to be cyber criminals that are operating in Eastern Europe. So the fact that this dude got arrested in India and who his clientele was is telling. If I had to tinfoil hat this one, I would think that this guy maybe got a little too big for his britches, or more likely kind of and again, I'm pulling this from like a Hollywood movie. He basically took a little bit bigger of a taste than he should have, or he pissed off the wrong person. But like everything about this makes me think that this guy right here, I don't want to say did something he shouldn't have, but like basically he had a good thing going, and he got a little too hungry. Dude, this thing's been going since 2019. So 6 years, basically, this guy's been cooking. $60 billion went through this guy's exchange. $60 billion, right? Damn. Even when sanctions were imposed, this guy got up to $4 billion a month in a month. So, way to go. Oh, look at this beach. This is where he got arrested, I guess. This looks pretty nice. All right, let's keep going.
Xcode malware learns new tricks. Researchers discovered the XCS set malware in 2022, which infects Xcode projects on Mac OS and runs while the project is being built. Microsoft released details on a new variant with a number of improvements, including a modular infrastructure, encoded payloads, and improved error handling. It also uses scripting languages, Unix commands, and legitimate binaries to further lower its profile. The variant also obfuscates module names to make static analysis less effective, and includes 3 persistent approaches to launch a payload whenever a new shell session is initiated. Microsoft shared full details about this with Apple ahead of its publication, and published details on individual modules, which we've linked to in our show notes.
All right. Quick shout out, if you're watching on stream, the graphic for the Microsoft blog post here has a woman with 2 monitors. One of them is vertical orientation. Sound off in chat. I don't run a vertical monitor anymore, but I did for a very long time. Love myself some vertical monitor orientation. Sound off if you got a preference. Some people are hardcore, like love themselves. Okay, so Microsoft Threat Intelligence. I'm a big fan. Microsoft Threat Intelligence, Palo Alto Unit 42, IBM X-Force. There's a couple of the like threat intelligence groups out there that are great. If you have one, if you have a threat intelligence group or feed or whatever that you like, please drop it in chat. It's nice to share because there's a bunch of them out there. Some of them are created better than others. Yeah, Legrat, you know what? Really quickly, Legrat, for vertical monitors. Yes, sir. All right. So, hey, Mac OS malware that infects Xcode projects. Okay. This has been going on since 2022. Now it has obfuscation methods, persistence mechanisms, and infection strategies. Okay. Let's see. First of all, I would say you've got to be running Xcode on your Mac machine. So, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a few years since I used Mac. Okay. So my understanding was back in the day, I had to install Xcode to be able to do things. It wasn't just native. So yeah, you can see here, Xcode's typically used by developers. So, they're targeting that. So basically what I'm saying is like your executive team who is definitely using Apple products, not really a concern. Your developers, though, that would be the concern, especially since they have access to software repos and all that stuff. How does this initial infection happen? Ooh, they use base 64 for encoding. Oh. All right. Like base 64 is like, standard. All right, so here we go. Here's the first stage of the payload. The payload reference in this stage gets launched when a user unknowingly builds an infected Xcode project. The obfuscated payload passes through 3 iterations of hex decoder and then is piped to a shell. The decoded payload simply makes a curl request to a C2 server, bulknames.ru. All right, here we go. Let me tell you what's up. First of all, tell your developer team. So this is a pro tip for your power users, your IT users. And I would just say really quickly, if you don't get the newsletter, we call it a newsletter, but it's not really a newsletter. Every single Monday, Simply Cyber sends out an email that has 3 pieces of actionable intel in it. One's for end users, one's for power users, and one's for your executives. This one's definitely for the power users. And basically say, listen, bro, if you're taking in projects from wherever you got it from and compiling them in Xcode on your machine, you could be at risk. So very small subset of people who are at risk. Second of all, again, threat actors can change the domain name of their C2 servers, no big deal. But if you're looking, for me personally, the organizations I work with, there isn't a legitimate business reason to go to a .ru website. So I would just block that wholesale. I'd block the TLD or the top level domain, the .ru at the firewall. So your code, you can try to reach out to bulknames.ru, but it ain't working, which means if you nerf this thing at the first stage, you don't have to worry about the second and third stage because they're not happening. Okay. Finally, if you do get to the third stage, let's see. This thing checks to see if the built-in antivirus is less than 5287. I guess that's a version number. It'll run, otherwise it'll get caught. So basically keep your antivirus up to date.
You gotta patch it.
Whatever. I mean, shout out to Microsoft Threat Intelligence. Obviously, if they wrote this blog post, there are developers who are getting hit. I'll drop a link in chat. There you go. So if you use Homebrew, then that uses Xcode as well. This is fine. I don't. This seems very, very targeted and very, very specific. I would just say, take a look at it. If you are trying to focus on Apple systems and Apple security, this could be a fun blog post to carve up and make some content around. Again, I'm a huge fan of making content. Obviously, I make Simply Cyber and live stream all the time and stuff. But just, I've seen so many people who make content have real big benefits. B-Dubs is making her, doing her blog, right? Chris Whitlock is doing Study GRC. Casually Joseph just started over at Unit 42, and they mentioned about how they enjoyed seeing his YouTube channel and the content he was making and how he could communicated, right? And broke down topics. So, I'm not just saying make content for content's purposes, but this is a fun one if you want to focus in on Apple. All right, let's go. We are at 9:03. Sorry, Nick Barker. We're a couple minutes over. Let's do this. All right, guys, don't go anywhere because we got jawjacking coming on. I just want to let everybody know tomorrow night at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. So Thursday, March 13th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. This guy, Brandon Stevens, is coming on to Simply Cyber Firesides. And literally, we're going to be breaking down cybersecurity sales jobs. If you want to work in cyber and you don't know what a salesperson does, how much technical acumen do you need? Are you out there like making cold calls, or are you giving hot leads? Are you just the demo guy who sits next to a sales guy? Brandon's going to break it all down. I also want to point out, we're not going to ask Brandon how much he makes particularly, but I will tell you, people who work in sales jobs in cybersecurity, woo,
Straight cash, homie.
they are making bank. That's tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. I also want to let everyone know that we have 2 cyber chicks going live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time today. Erica McDuffie, Jack Scott. They're going to be welcoming on Elizabeth Lotardo, who just wrote a book called Leading Yourself. We're going to talk about self-leadership. If you're looking for some inspiration, obviously Erica and Jax are always bringing the heat. This is season 6, episode 2. We're off and running with that. Otherwise, guys, we're going to do some jaw jacking. The next 30 minutes, I will answer all questions, including my arm sweater questions. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. If you got a boogie out of here, be well. Until next time, y'all, stay secure. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jaw Jacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some jaw jacking. Yo, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the party. This is Jaw Jacking. It's a 30-minute live stream coming hot off the heels of the daily cyber threat brief. And what we do is answer any and all the questions. It's very casual, right? I'll ask me anything. Obviously, if you ask me something that's completely inappropriate, I'm not going to answer. But if you want to talk cyber, if you want to talk community, you want to talk about whatever. I will tell you, just to kind of get the wheels turning, I'm super excited. Was at Lowe's yesterday. Mrs. Auger's been going ham on the pantry. We're doing a pantry remodel. My wife is incredibly good at carpentry and woodworking. She's got all sorts of cool tools and stuff. And she blew our pantry out from like a little closet to like a full walk-in. So she's going ham on that. So I went to the Lowe's yesterday with her to buy some more lumber, and they had one of these workbenches here on sale, getting the demo that was like on the floor, and I've built it out. I wish I could show you guys. How can I show you guys? I don't know if this is going to work. I can't really move my camera. You get a little bit. See, I've got a chair there, and there's actually another chair right there, and I've got it set up for a camera shot, so it's going to be like a podcast interview space. So I'm playing with it. I'm super excited. Just being silly and having fun. I do love making content and doing fun stuff. What questions you got? Drop them in chat. I'm here for you. Let me go into the chat. Mrs. A is fantastic at working. Yep. Thank you, LeGras. Yeah. Mrs. A Mrs. A built the studio. If you like the way the studio looks, toss a coin to the Witcher and to Mrs. A. Space Tacos. Ever been so tired that you fall asleep in the doctor's office waiting for them to call your name? I've never fallen asleep in a doctor's office, but I have been so tired that I've fallen asleep standing up. Fun fact, I was in a fraternity in college. I don't talk about it often, but one of the hazing rituals, I guess, is not, there was a period of time where I didn't get to sleep. And I don't know if anyone's ever gone a period of time without sleeping, but on day 3 of no sleep, I'll never forget it. I was in my dorm room and I was with some other people, and I was absolutely convinced it was raining in my dorm room. Like there was a cloud raining in my dorm room, and I wasn't excited about it. I wasn't upset. I wasn't freaking out. It was just like matter of fact, like, geez, it's raining in here. Like delusional. Casually Joseph, no season starting, trying any new beers. Oh my God, guys, you want to talk about beers for a hot minute? I know Joseph brought this. If you know me for a minute, you know I do like craft beer. I got to tell you, and I know Code Brew, there is a beer channel on the Discord server. I got to tell you, I had one of these last night. Hold on one second. Come on, check this out. Even more Jesus. Okay. Holy crap. You can get a 4-pack of this for $8. Get the hell out of here. Are you joking me with that? Bruh. The delivery must be like $40 or something. There's no way you're getting, this might be $8 a can. All right. So, even more Jesus. Imperial Stout. I just had one of these. Very good. If you're an Imperial Stout fan, if you like Old Rasputin, if you like Narwhals, if you like North Coast's Old Rasputin, Great Divide, the Yeti. Oh my God. Come check this out. All right, let's go. Next question. Good question, Joseph. Thank you. So Nick Parker says, did you get glasses at the dock? All right, so here's another fun fact. Really quickly, and this is probably a little TMI, but bear with me. So when I left Haiku, I took the Cobra. So I basically pay for my own health insurance, me and my family, right? I pay out of pocket for my own health insurance. But that's health insurance. The vision and dental, I did Cobra. So if you've ever left a job, there's like this Cobra thing. Most people go on to another job that offers benefits, so you don't do it. I did Cobra, and it's been 18 months. So, way to go. So it expired on March 1st, which I didn't find out until I went to go to the eye doctor yesterday and realized that I didn't have it. So I had to call the insurance company and get re-signed up. So it starts April 1st. So I actually rescheduled my appointment for April 2nd. So just so everyone knows, there's no question that I'm going to need glasses. And these are just like the blue blockers that make your eyes strain less on computer monitors. But starting in April, I'm definitely going to have to get glasses. And then this look will be Jerry Guy, and this look will be Dr. Gerald Auger. So we're going to flip the script a little bit. Nick Parker, don't judge me with my sweater. All right, Zach Morrison with an IT question. Are entry-level IT roles common right now? Every IT support or help desk role I see is posted says it wants a few years of experience. I can't answer whether or not they're common right now. I will say that support and help desk roles are fairly common. A lot of businesses are looking for that. A lot of businesses will use people to basically promote out of help desk. If you're seeing it with a few years of experience, that's kind of crazy. I mean, honestly, help desk is an entry-level role. All right. Now you can stand out a little bit by getting some Active Directory experience, some Windows administration experience. I wouldn't let a couple years of experience hold you back from an entry-level support role. Bruno Lima, thank you, by the way, Justin Gold in chat, dropping mod chat questions. Justin Lima says, which area of GRC do you like to work in? Audit it, risk management, etc. So for me, I love, honestly, I love all of it, Bruno, but the real intellectual exercise is in the risk side of things, because we're not the office of no. If you just have a policy and you say, this is the way it is, and that's all there is, then you're rigid and it's not cool. Dream Logic, thank you. Glasses is a huge requirement. Nerd. On the risk side, that's where you're actually working with the business, helping to solve problems. So personally, the risk side of GRC is the most work, but it's also my favorite. My second favorite is making end user awareness content, because I like making content. I like engaging with people, and it allows you to be creative. So those are my choices for that one, Bruno. Zach Morrison. Oh, I already answered that Zach Morrison question. All right. Let's see. Looking at questions. The ICS show is every other week, not every week. That is correct. So, Gigi, on Simply Cyber, we have the media group. We have Simply Defensive, Cybersecurity Mentors, 2 Cyber Chicks, Simply ICS. What you should know is 2 Cyber Chicks and Simply ICS Cyber are every other week on Wednesday at 9:30. So today is today is 2 Cyber Chicks at 9:30 a.m. Next Wednesday will be Simply ICS Cyber. The following Wednesday will be 2 Cyber Chicks again, then Simply ICS Cyber. Simply ICS Cyber and 2 Cyber Chicks are the only shows that are every other week, but we've put them in the same time slot so you can kind of earmark that time spot. Dude, why are people upset about it? My arms are cold. And normally I would put it on, but I have an earpiece in, which means I'd have to take the earpiece off. Like, now I'm just going to wear it this way just to piss people off. AdSid says, hey, Jerry, I would like to say that it was nice meeting you at Zero Trust World. It was a good experience to meet you for the first time. It was awesome. Thanks, Ad. Said it was nice meeting you too. Bruno Lima already answered that question. Mrs. A getting the love from Cam Goodut. Anthony S says, how would you describe the role of a VCISO? All right, so the way I've seen it, the way it works, even though it's like a virtual CISO, to me it's more of a fractional CISO. So think of a VCISO as CISO consulting, right? You come in, they don't want you there for the full time, but they want you to give them guidance on a strategic plan. There's an active merger and acquisition, and they want to know what they should be thinking about. That's kind of like what a VCISO does. Hopefully that answers your question. By the way, VCISO kind of sucks a little bit just because, you're kind of bouncing around, which, if you like variety, that's fine. But you're not like laying roots. So it's hard to like drive some of your initiatives forward. All right. Code Brew wants a Simply Woodwork channel. I will tell you at 9:30 a.m., Mrs. Auger and I actually have a meeting with somebody, and she's going to be coming in here. So she might actually pop in, but having a supportive partner that's willing to build and to decorate a cyber shed for you is life goals. That's right. Guys, I love my wife. Super, super appreciative of her. She's awesome. Nick Baca, drinking beers. Yeah, Alana Boyajian knows what's up as far as like sleep deprivation, tripping. What's your favorite beer? Oh my God. Dream Logic. So if you're like a craft beer fan, if you like beer, you know that this question is insane to answer. Dream Logic, it really depends on the time of year and what situation. Like if I'm going to the beach, I'm not drinking even more Jesus. That would be insane. So I'll just tell you a couple. I'll fill in a couple, okay? So if I just mowed the lawn, I want a Miller High Life in the classic bottle shape. If I'm hanging out with friends that I haven't seen in a wicked long time, Coors Original Banquet beer. If it's cold out, then a dark imperial stout. Choose your own adventure on that one. If I'm getting a keg, Edmund's Oast Bound by Time. Like basically, if I was gonna like only be able to drink one beer for the rest of my life, Edmund's Oast Bound by Time. So I think that might be the answer to your question. Let's see. I'm looking here. I already answered this one for Zach. Continuing to look at chat. Purple Moss Paradise says, as a newbie, what suggestions would you give to get started making content that will stand out to a potential employer? All right, Purple Moss Paradise. Love this. So, first of all, oh my God. First of all, Purple Moss Paradise, what I would say is you have to make content that you are personally interested in, okay? Otherwise, you're going to hate doing it, and you're going to make like 2 pieces of content and then not make any more. So make sure it's something that you're interested in, right? If you're interested in a SOC analyst role or whatever, then do blue team type stuff. Now, as far as the type of content, you can do blog posts. B-Dub's been doing blog. I'm a huge fan of YouTube, obviously. And you got to remember, guys, like YouTube is like the second most visited website on the internet. Google's number 1, or at least it was last year. So when somebody is looking for you, right? You said that will stand out to a potential employer. Listen, if someone's looking, if you apply to a job and you have your YouTube channel on your resume, I promise you they're going to go look at it. Now, this is an opportunity for you to show them how you speak, how you communicate, what you're interested in, what, your quality standards. So for me, I would recommend, a YouTube. Like literally, this isn't even an ad for my course, but I literally have a course called Personal Branding for a Career in Cyber. Many of the people in chat right now are former students or alumni of it. It's called the PBCC course. And I show you exactly how to build a YouTube channel, not that you have to do YouTube, but I personally know from experience that it is massively impactful. I literally had someone tell me yesterday that they got a job recently, and part of it, I mean, they obviously got the job themselves, but their YouTube channel certainly didn't hurt in their hiring decision. All right. Continuing to look at questions here. My man Poner Joe, where did Mrs. A get her carpentry experiences from? My fiance is very handy and wants very much to do the same thing. You know, I think her mom's very capable, and I think she kind of picked it up from her. My wife is very creative. Like, she loves creating. Like, she has a gosh, what are those things called? Cricut, right? If you know what that is. Like, my wife's just short of having a 3D printer. In fact, I might get her one for anniversary. Nick Barker, which part of GRC consists mostly of interviewing people? Audit, Nick. So audit is really interviewing people. And then risk is an extension of that, but audit is the number one place where you get into there. Real Bilbo's got trifocals at 35. We're at 9:21. We're going to be going over to 2 cyber checks at hold on one second. Okay. Yeah. So Robert says contracted CISO. That's very much a vCISO. Legrat says, I'm making the sweater look good. Thank you, Legrat. I appreciate that. I notice it too, deeply unsettling. Is it my sweatshirt that's bothering you? Okay. Jan Oliver Kanga says, how do you think getting the LPI 1 Linux cert would help me with entry-level jobs? Now, I don't know the LPI-1 Linux cert. I don't know if it would help you get a job. Honestly, I hadn't heard of it. The one thing I'll tell you, Jan, Olivier, and everybody, this is a fact for everybody, okay? Whatever cert it is, Security Plus, A Plus, PNPT, CISSP, whatever. Look at, before you do anything, right? Learning the knowledge is good. But before you pay money to take the exam and get the certification, look at the jobs you want and see if any of them are asking for that cert, or find jobs that are asking for that cert and figure out if that's a job you want, right? Getting the cert as a helping you get a job, if nobody's asking for the cert, I can tell you right now, it's not going to help you get the job. It might be interesting to people, but it's not going to help you. Cam Godet, what? You don't like my sweater? You got a problem with it? I'm going to wear it like this. I'm going to wear it like this all the time now. Anyone from Massachusetts? That's right. You tell me? You got a problem? Josh is saying vCISOs run tabletops, help with acquisitions. Yep. Space Tacos wants me to throw on leg warmers. Let's see. Nathan McKnight says, what's the best entry-level job for GRC? Auditor. Alana Boyajian drinking Sierra Nevada IPAs the other night. That's interesting. Alana, at Wild West Hackin' Fest, I thought you were drinking wine or like cocktails. I don't remember you drinking a beer. But shout out. If you like beer, let's go. Also, Alana, are you going to Wild West Hackin' Fest Deadwood again? Hold on. Asking Alana a question. I'm DMing Alana in public chat right now. Douglas Ramirez, I hate when this time changes. Yeah, exactly, dude. The time changes are brutal. Cam Godot knows the stubby bottles. I got to tell you guys, like the Miller High Life bottle with the long neck and the Coors stubby bottles, I love them. I bet you Red Stripe wouldn't sell as many if they didn't come in the cool bottle. I don't know how to say your name. I think not a lot of vowels in that name. Might be a weird question, but how do you fight the despair and not lose motivation while trying to get into cyber? It seems like a high mountain of knowledge to climb. It is. It is a high mountain. What I would say is, remember this, okay? Cyber is like science, right? You wouldn't be like, oh, I want to work. I mean, you could say I want to work in science, but you wouldn't study rocket science and biology and, organic chemistry, right? Like you'd focus in on an area like, oh, I want to work in science. I want to be a biologist. Well, now you should look at organic chem and biology and plant life and all that other stuff. Or, oh, hey, I want to work in science. I want to, study blood and solve blood problems, right? So now you become like into blood and hemoglobin and human biology and stuff like that, right? So what I'm trying to get is figure out what you want to do and then focus in on that. Basically, make the don't get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of all the stuff. Just pull out the things you want and then put them on the table and look at those things. Basically, make the mountain just a bunch of small molehills and focus on those. I hope that helps. But yeah, dude, I hear you. Looking at chat right now. Casually Joseph is dropping that Edmund's Oast is legit. So good. Nick Barker, do you have any experience with blank? Yes, I have a video for that. This is part of the reason why I say make content. We're at 9:26. We've got 3 minutes until 2 cyber checks. Bruno says, what are some GRC projects we can do? I got a video for that, Bruno. Hold on one second. Simply Cyber GRC portfolio. Right here. Look at this guy. Where's Bruno? At Bruno. GRC projects. All right. Dropping it like it's hot. 2 cyber checks. 2 minutes. Bruno, watch that video and then come back if you have another question. Borderline Behemoth says, if I just want to protect and monitor home network thoroughly and protect my data like my stories and artwork, is the content in the Net Plus enough to do this? No. Borderline Behemoth, the Net Plus is going to doesn't teach you security, really. The Net Plus is teaching you how networks work, what subnetting is, what public address routing is versus private address routing, what DNS is, what DHCP is, what TCP, the OSI stack. Like Network Plus is teaching you how networking works and how computers talk to each other. It doesn't teach you how to secure. In Security Plus is focused on security, but that's not going to help you necessarily protect your home network. How would I do that? I mean, CIS baseline, right? CIS 18. You could kind of use. I mean, if you really want, what I would say is, harden your router, your stories and artwork. I would make sure that you have backups of. Maybe get like a home NAS or NAS device and use that. Okay. Dennis Keefe wants to take the PBCC course. I will tell everybody the PBCC course is going to be June 2nd through June 5th. June 2nd through June 5th. It's not available. I will open it for registration 30 days prior. Okay, 30 days prior, and I'll mention all this. I'll mention all this when we get closer. Okay. Yes, Brexy, June 2nd through June 5th. LinkedIn user Mikey Yeagley, the vulnerability management course is back in progress. I actually filmed a lecture just the other day. Look for it. I actually have a timeline for it. I think it's June. It'll be coming out. Okay. Taekwon Gong, AWS cloud security role. Good to get into. I don't know what the current market is for AWS cloud security, but you can get a lot of AWS cloud training right now. You'll have to just, I don't know if it's a good role. If anyone is in chat, recruiters or anything that knows whether or not there's a demand right now for AWS cloud, let me know. AdSid says, I'll get the membership, but as a newbie, just for knowledge, why do I need a membership of the channel? By the way, your channel is brilliant. Well, thanks, AdSid. You do not need to get a channel membership. All members of the Simply Cyber community can get all the value of Simply Cyber without paying $1. The channel membership gives you, your name turns a different color, you get the badge, and you get emotes. It's just a way to support the channel. A lot of people, I created it because a lot of people want to support because they feel that they've gotten so much value from Simply Cyber that they want to do something. So that's a way that we do it. Plus, it's fun. All right, guys, we are right here at 9:30. Let's go ahead and raid 2 cyber chicks. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber, guys. Thanks so much for allowing me to do jaw jacking. Until next time, stay secure. Me and my arm leg warmers, stay secure.